Hey everybody, Kenny here. For this one, I'm gonna try not to slip into my New York accent like I did in the last video, which I think happened because I was on the phone with my mom for about an hour before I started recording, and the night before that, I'd been playing D&D with my group, and the character I'm playing also has a very thick New York accent. So I think the combination of talking to my mom, who also has a New York accent, and playing that character kind of just brought out my old New Yorker. I mean, I haven't lived in New York since I was 15, so it's been way too long for me to still have that accent. Anyways, so in this video, I just want to go over the basics of fishing, since I feel it's an important aspect to the game and also poorly communicated, both in Battle Chasers and in Ruined King. So first off, before I start explaining the mechanics, once you start the game, instead of wasting any money buying your first fishing rod and lure, what I recommend doing is head over to the Buru Grotto, and you can find an epic grade rank 6 lure and fishing rod right there. And then you also have a little fishing spot that you can use. So that way, you save yourself some money and gain access to the fishing right away. So first thing to know about the fishing, and I'm just going to go over these real quick just because it's very simple, but the tutorial you get when you first do the fishing is very obtuse, and I don't know why they they used all of those little tutorial boxes to explain it when it's something very, very simple. It doesn't need all of that. So if you look at your fishing equipment, the most important thing of anything when it comes to fishing is when you look at your lure, the lure power is actually the most important thing when it comes to the fishing. Out of anything, that's the most important thing. If that value is too low, then you'll notice that fish won't even go to your lure. You literally won't be able to fish if the value is too low. So it's important to always make sure that you have the best possible bait when you're doing fishing. Just have whatever has the highest lure power is what you want to always have equipped in that slot. And then for your fishing rod, the only thing that really matters is your line strength. And the reason that the line strength is important is that that's basically the hit points of your fishing rod. So when you're fishing, you're going to see that there's this blue kind of gauge that comes up, and that is how, I guess, energetic the fish is. And the higher that is, the faster you're going to see this red part go down. And that red part, that's your line HP. And when that gets all the way down, the fish gets away. So that's what the fishing rod is best for. Your fishing rod, it isn't what guarantees you're going to catch fish. It's what makes it easier for you to get fish, because the better your line strength is, the more likely you're going to be able to reel something in without your line breaking. So you have the basics down. You know that you want the best lure strength, and you want the best line strength, or lure power and line strength. Those are the two things that matter when it comes to what you're equipping. Now for the fishing itself, it couldn't be simpler. When you throw your line out and the fish latches on, the only thing that matters, don't bother paying attention to the tutorial that came up when it was first introduced. Don't worry about that gauge that you're seeing below the fish once they latch on. The only thing that matters is the line. Look at your fishing line and pay attention to the color. Rotate the left stick until you see that the fishing line is red. When it's red, then that means that you are reeling the fish in against its escape route. So if it's blue or white, then that means that you're giving the fish slack to get away. It also means that you are reducing the amount of tension on the line to slow down how quickly your line HP goes down. But you don't want to worry about that. Always keep it in the red, because that will make sure that you catch the fish as quick as possible. However, this is very important. If the fish you're catching happens to provide a rare epic, like a rare epic reward or a treasure chest, then it is going to fight you much harder than normal fish. So anytime that you're getting a lot of extra resistance, most likely it's a really good catch. But for that reason, a good rule of thumb is you want to, if the fish is kind of far out, then you kind of want to lure it as close as possible. Now, from what I can tell, there is some kind of leashing when it comes to the fish. And if you're not familiar with the term leashing, it just means that like there is a certain point where they are kind of bound to, and if they go beyond that point, then they'll just return to that spot, and they can't go any further than that, than whatever bounds were set for them. So if they're too far out, then like the most you can lure them in, like you'll notice that like if you bring them past that point, then they'll just kind of rubber band back to where you first saw them. So just try to lure them as close to the dock as you can, so you don't have to fight them too much. Because the more you have to fight them, the more likely you are to lose the fish or the treasure chest in some cases. And aside from that, I mean, that's really all there is to it. Like, it's really that simple. It is a very simple mini game that has many great rewards. Honestly, I spent, I don't know, a dozen hours probably fishing in Battle Chasers Night War. Like, just way too much time because I wanted to get, well, fishing and doing all of the, like rerunning all of the dungeons to get as many of the black market sigil things as possible. Because, you know, that's how you get all of the extra books for powering up your party through rune system, and that's how you unlock the special costumes for each character. Which, you know, it's a cosmetic thing. It's, you know, it doesn't affect gameplay. It's just fun to do, but it does require a lot. So this is going to be, I'm going to do 2 of these fishing videos. This video is just to introduce you to the basics, so you know that, you know, this is the quickest way, like guaranteed, like, you know, this will work. This is how the fishing works, and you will be able to fish as quickly as possible using these methods. And I will release another fishing video when I get further in the game, just to see, like if I find a point where, like, I can do the fishing much more efficiently. Like, I find a way to, like, kind of force the greater rewards for fishing, because, you know, because when you're fishing up, you can get the normal chunks, the uncommon chunks, the rare chunks, the epic chunks, and they all give you, like, you're able to trade them in for those black market seals at the fish merchant at different quantities. So, like, if I find this spot where, like, I seem to be getting, like, the best rewards, and I'll make a video about, like, go here if you want to just get as many of these as possible, as quick as possible. Like, I'll make a video about that, because that's definitely something that you want to take advantage of. All fishing spots in the game are based around the resting. So once you fished out a spot, you'll see that the icon disappear. So once that happens, and if you want to fish that same spot again, you just go to a rest spot, you know, rest there, and then you can go back to the fishing spot. Just note that the resting spots are akin to bonfires in the Souls games. So by resting, you'll not only reset the fishing, but you also reset any enemy spawns in the area. So if you're trying to, you know, finish up a dungeon and you don't want to be just fighting groups over and over again, then don't rest just so you can reset a fishing spot, unless you don't mind having to fight through all the enemies between wherever your rest spot was and the fishing spot again. That's my recommendation anyway. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you did, I appreciate doing all of the YouTube stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all next time.